The Global Observatory document published by the International Peace Institute on May this year shows that about 30,000 bandits are operating in the Northwest, spread across various groups ranging from 10 to over 1,000 fighters. Banditry is a serious crime that encompasses kidnapping, massacre, cattle rustling, and illegal possession of firearms, causing devastating impact on the region. The rise in bandits and their easy access to illicit weapons have impoverished farmers and hindered agricultural activities and trade in rural communities and expanded conflict zones. And this poses a significant risk to the socio-economic outlook in northwest Nigeria. The continued violent activities of these bandits threaten the region's stability and development. Even the resident doctors have continued their warning strike due to the abduction of their colleague in Kaduna State, which is also in the northern part of the country, and Kebbi has had its own fair cases of insecurity as well. To discuss this and other security challenges in Kebbi State, the Commissioner of Information and Culture, Mr. Yakubu Ahmed, joins us from Birin Kebbi, the state capital. A pleasure having you with us.
Being with you, thank you.
Now, what measures are the authorities in Kebbi State taking to address the concerns of doctors who are on strike over the kidnapping of their colleague who has been in captivity for over 8 months now?
Well, it's important for us to first and foremost understand the fact that although Kebbi State has had his own share of banditry activity, as it is the case in the entire North-West region, it's important for us to understand the fact that the case is no longer as bad in Kebbi as it used to be in other states of the Northwest.
So can you paint a picture, give us a true scenario of what is happening in Kebbi State?
Yeah, the scenario is this. Before the advent of this administration, before the present governor, Dr. Nasir Idris Karongo, became to power, the case has always been very bad as it was elsewhere. In fact, banditry activity, killings, and abductions were the order of the day before the coming of this administration. But on the assumption of office, our governor took it upon himself to interface and liaise with the security commands in the country, and a new approach was introduced. He took a number of measures. He spent a lot of resources in order to ensure certain critical deployments in the southern part of Kebbi State, where we have this banditry activity. As we speak today, the situation has normalized to some extent. The usual attacks we have everywhere before the advent of the administration is no longer happening. What happened was critical deployments were made in those areas I told you about, and a number of the bandits were waylaid, ambushed, and killed. As a result of which, in fact, in the first place, we don't have cells of bandits in the Kebbi State. They used to cross over from Niger State and Zamfara State, where we border these two states. We have a local government, Danko Esabu in Kebbi, one of the largest local governments in the country. This is where we border the two states, Zamfara and Niger State. Bandits that have cells there used to come over, cross over, perpetrate their activities, and rush back to those states. We took care of that because, as I said earlier, they rushed in, so we blocked their entrance. And the security agencies have done quite a good job. In the past, we've had news of a number of kingpins of bandits that have been killed in Kebbi State. As a result of this, there is no inch of Kebbi State where farming activities are not taking place today as a result of the measures taken. In fact, we have farmers that have crossed over from Niger and Zamfara State into Kebbi. They are now living within Kebbi landscape, and farming activities 100% it is taking place. In fact, we are expecting a bumper harvest this year in Kebbi State as a result of this. So I think it's important for us to understand this issue as it is, and then we now situate it very, very well.
Okay, so thank you for painting that picture so that we really understand what's happening in Kebbi State. But in those areas, like you mentioned, the south, where this banditry activities did take place, what impact did it have on the farmers and the rural communities?
It's obvious. Wherever you have banditry activity, where you have killings, abductions, farming cannot take place. farming and any other business take place in an atmosphere of peace and tranquility. When these two are lacking, obviously nothing happens. That's why I'm saying no inch of Kebbi State that farming activities is not taking place, which means we have relative peace in Kebbi State, which also give credence to my claim that we have farmers from Niger State and Kebbi and Zamfara State that have come into Kebbi, established homes, and are conducting their farming activities. So on the whole, we have an atmosphere of peace in Kebbi State as a result of the measures. I want you to understand this. When this government came into office, it was a bad situation, very, very bad situation. But certain measures were taken, very critical measures, and critical deployments were made. As a result of which, we were able to nip these attacks into the bud. As I'm saying again, we're expecting a bumper harvest. Don't forget, Kebbi is Nigeria's hub of rice production. That is just by the way. We are also into a number of farms, sugarcane, wheat, and all that. So it's the issue of food security in Nigeria. Peace in Kebbi State is very, very essential. Of course, it is essential in every other state in the Northwest and in every other state in Nigeria. But in Kebbi, being a production hub of food in the country, a very important factor in the food chain in Nigeria, it is very, very vital that we have peace here. Because it is from here because as I said earlier, we have the capacity, we have the land, the rivers. River Niger is close into Kebbi by over 100 kilometers. River Rima by over 250 kilometers. River Car, Golden Car we call it, by over 240 kilometers. So Kebbi is a rice production hub. It is very, very important for us to have peace here. And I think it's because of that our governor took it upon himself to do the needful in order to ensure that there is relative peace so that production of food will continue. But on the whole, I think we're good to go here in terms of food production.
Mr. Ahmed, on a final note now, what is the governor doing to ensure that this peace that Kebbi State is enjoying at the moment is permanent?
Yeah, we'll continue to spend resources accordingly. We'll continue to ensure that resources are channeled in a manner that will continue to maintain and sustain the peace we are having. Again, whatever it takes, the government of Kebbi State will continue to do it in order to ensure that peace reigns. Again, as I said earlier, when you have the capacity like we have in Kebbi State to ensure deployments, critical deployments, and to ensure that all the security agencies are doing what they're supposed to do, I think we'll continue to sustain this peace, inshallah, because as I said earlier, without peace, we cannot just do anything. Don't forget, it is just a part of Kebbi, as I told you earlier, that has this problem of banditry. And we're able to contain it, and we'll continue to contain it in the manner we've been containing it today, because as I said earlier, Nigeria can ill afford a Kebbi State that is not peaceful. Can ill afford, because the food chain here is so large, so big, that Nigeria cannot afford to have problems in Kebbi State.
The Commissioner of Information and Culture in Kebbi State, Mr. Yakubu Ahmed, a pleasure sharing your thoughts with us on the program.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.